Hi guys, today we are going to learn how to use CSS Flexbox to be able to style up our web page. So if you are struggling with layout, in 30 seconds I will show us a 3 CSS Flexbox tricks which we can or you can actually use. Now the first is to center anything both ways. Now we can see here on our, this is a code snippet. So now let me run it to on my server. We can see here the value we have ABC, but they are not centered. So now we need to center anything in both ways, either from the left or to the right. So now I'm going to go back to my code snippet. So I want to center this particular code, this particular web page. I want my A, my B, and my C to be at the center. So I'm going to use the .container class to be able to do so. So on my deck I will say .container, right? .container class, I will say display to be flex, right? I want it to be in one direction. I will say display to be flex. So once I run the code, we can see it will be in one direction, but it is not centered. So we are going to use justify-content to center the particular container and also align those items against to the center by using the align items. I will say justify-content center and also align items to the center. Line items to the center. So once I save and I run my code, we will see here. So we can see now that our we have centered anything in both ways. So now the next thing we need to do now is to have an equal height columns. The second tips is to have an equal height columns. We are going to use align items to stretch if there is need, and also use the space distribution, which is justify-content, to be able to create space if there is no space in between our items. So we use justify-content to give it a space in between. So now let's quickly style up this page. Let's quickly style up this container class. So now I've given it a display of flex, justify-content to be able to create an equal justify-content to be able to create or distribute a space in between my items. So here I will say justify-content. I will say justify-content should be space, right, dash in should be space between, and I will align my items to the center. So now the next thing, once I save, we should be able to see our code. Now the thing is, we can see how it has created a space between our items, our A, our B, and our C, and it also align them to the center, right? It also aligned them to the center. So we need to create some padding and also create some border with some colors. So now we want to give our cat, which now those A, B, and C are our cats. So we want to style them up. Now here in the code snippet, we can see we have a div with a class called cat. So now we are going to select it by using the pseudo selector dot card, which stands for a class of card, So I will say padding, I will give it 1 rem, right? Padding 1 rem. I will give it a border. I will give it a border of 4 pixels with a solid color, right? With HDDD, and I save. Run my code. All right, so we can see this is how to simply style